One of the first jobs I had was as a movie usher in the center of London. And I was wearing one of these sort of green monkey suits working for the Odeon cinema chain. And there were these Klieg lights all flashing around for the premiere of Saturday Night Fever. And, the white Rolls Royces pulled up and out stepped the Bee Gees. And there was just mania in Leicester Square. Nobody knew who John Travolta was yet, but they knew that there was this new superstar, planet, on the horizon. And I just remember being kind of taken with the whole vibe, that sort of Beatlemania-esque vibe, and thinking, I wouldn't mind a piece of that. And then, unbelievably, like 4 years later, I was doing my screen test wearing a leather jacket that Travolta had worn in the original film. A picture had appeared, I guess, in Interview magazine that Bruce Weber had shot. And then, once you get Andy Warhol's seal of approval, that kind of vaults you up the list very quickly. You could question whether some of the guys I beat out would have been better, Rick Springfield and Sean Cassidy. And originally, supposedly, Andy Gibb was going to do it. And then at the last minute, and he was more than qualified, you know what I mean? He was right to play Sandy's cousin. He was right, good God, he had the fan base and the voice and the look, but apparently he was kind of wooden in front of the camera. I'm sort of playing the Olivia Newton-John character as a flip, and Michelle's the one that is really the cool one.
The whole thing with me was they wanted this character to sort of be this character who was obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. So it was all about my hair. And Alan wanted me to be literally the platinum blonde. And he sent me to a hairdresser in Westwood. And she bleached out my hair. And I got to tell you, it was really painful. And because in those days, they didn't have the real bleach now that they have that isn't painful. They bleached out my hair. I was weeping. And the next day, I went in to hair and makeup for a hair and makeup test for the film. And the hairdresser went like this, and it came out in her hand. They had broken off all my hair. My hair was this long. And that's when Alan said, put a wig on her. I thought to myself, they couldn't have thought about that before they did that to me.
Well, what's your favorite musical number?
In Grease 2?
Yeah.
I think the opening of Grease 2 is one of the best things anybody's ever done. I managed to do, a 7-minute, non-stop informational number. That's where you got to know them.
I love that opening, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good opening. I know it's a good opening. And the bowling number. I know the bowling number is good.
The one thing that we took away from the movie was the friendships, because we all had a bond. All of the original people in Grease were our champions too. Olivia Newton-John gave us a great party, a New Year's Eve party, and she was fantastic. She was also in love with Matt Lattanzi, who then became her husband, and he was on Grease too. So there was a connection between the first movie and our movie. I guess we were sort of like the little brother and sister of the first movie, and they were incredibly generous to us.
He threw a beautiful party at a bowling alley. I was still trying to stay in touch with my New York theater roots, and I kind of was showing off. I ducked out as soon as the opening credits came up, and I went down to do a performance of a play called Journey's End, a classic British drama about soldiers in the First World War, hence the mustache for the party. And I think I still even had like the dirty streaks on my face from the battle. The first sign that there was trouble was I got to the checked in and I picked up Time magazine, and there was a review for the film in there. And Michelle was reviewed as a possible new Tuesday Weld, and yours truly wasn't sort of really mentioned. I think the critic was reserving judgment. But the film, it was a big thumbs down on the film. And that was an ominous sign.
We didn't open well. And I think there were two reasons why we didn't open well, looking back on it now. Partially, the school bus arrived, and the only person they saw get off it was Eugene and Didi Khan. I don't think we had anybody else on that bus from there. So, at one of the tryouts of it, I remember sitting there and feeling it all around me, that people were waiting for Stocker. They were waiting for this one. They were waiting for... None of them were there. Oh, I knew they could feel they missed them right away. They had to get to know a whole new bunch of people on a sequel to something they had watched at least 5 times.
I thought I was on my way. And I even turned down a film that, in hindsight, was sheer lunacy, which was another film set in a high school with motorcycles. And it was closer, far closer to the original script of Grease 2. But I thought, I can't repeat myself. And this was at the point before Grease 2 had been released. It was at that very short window, because we finished principal photography, I think, like February, and the film was suddenly out in May. So that I didn't have the luxury that I thought I had, of a period to pick and choose what my next project would be. The deal was that Paramount, if they gifted you this role and this opportunity, they wanted to make sure they had ownership of you, at least, because the studio system was well and truly dead by now. So you wouldn't be put under contract to them, but they certainly wanted options on you. There was some hefty negotiations over my, subsequent pictures for Paramount that didn't come to pass. I did rock up on the set, the Paramount lot rather, about 4 years later in another sequel, which was Dynasty's twin, which was called The Colbys. And so that was fun to come back to the Paramount lot and, be working with legends like Charlton Heston and Barbara Stanwyck. It was exciting. And, as I say, you live and learn in this racket. The party was over, at least as far as this town was concerned. And it took me a long time to get over it. It really did. I don't mean just strictly ego. I mean, I'm talking about the opportunity to get another bite of the cherry, because, if you're only as good as your last picture, and if you get literally a golden opportunity like this, and you haven't been as diplomatic as you should be throughout the process, then if there's blame to go around, you're kind of sitting front and center, in the coconut shy. And, so I took my shots, and as I said, it didn't work for a long time. Finally got to do a movie called The Boys Next Door with Charlie Sheen, and then I got to vent.
What did this experience tell you about Hollywood?
Oh, man. This is, listen, it's show business. America's, there's no coming second in this town. Like I said, a lot of us stick around hoping to get a second opportunity, and if you're lucky and you've got some stage chops, there's always New York, and you can go back there and try to redeem yourself on the legitimate stage. I'm just off to do Henry Higgins in Anchorage, Alaska, hence the sideburns. Alan would be proud of me. I'm coming through for him. I can sing, damn it.